Hi everyone, I'm so glad you're joining me today. We're going through predictive practice questions for your PMP or your CAPM if you prefer. A great way to pass either of these exams by doing these practice questions to see how you're going. And we're going to do these with a little twist. We're going to do them with through the lens of the PMP Fast Track. I'll put the link just up the top here so you can go and see the entire thing. But here's a quick recap. Just the general guidelines. Don't hire, don't fire, because we want to problem solve instead. Don't ask for money and don't delay. Ask for help from our team, but don't delay. Don't sit on our hands and do nothing, and don't make someone else do our job. Some really nice, easy ways to break down the answers. Just quickly, make sure we're delivering value. We want to deliver the project and deliver value, so don't do anything that hinders that. Be direct and collaborative in our responses with people. Be honest and don't pass the buck. And problem solve. Go direct to the problem, direct to the root cause, find the root cause of the issue and solve the real problem. Make sure that we're looking at those keywords. All right, that's a really quick breakdown. Let's get into these questions. This is going to be great. You're managing a hospital construction project that has recently faced delays. The head of medical staff is unresponsive during design reviews, and a previously neutral local official is now vocal about environmental concerns. So, sounds to me like engagement. Our stakeholders are disengaged, or they're actively trying to sabotage the project even as well. Decision making is now slow and concerns are growing from other stakeholders. What are we going to do? Let's have a look. Escalate the issue. Now, straight away, remember, we don't want to escalate the issue. We want to handle this ourselves if we can help it. So we can already say no to that one, but let's see what it is just in case. Escalate to the project sponsor. Again, really a no for that. And ask them to address those disengaged stakeholders. We don't want to do that in the real world or on the PMP exam if we can help it. Perform a stakeholder engagement assessment. All right, that sounds promising. To evaluate the current and desired engagement levels and update our strategies. Now, that sounded okay, and now we're updating our strategies. That sounds pretty good. So I'd put that as a high maybe for now. It's definitely the engagement of our team, isn't it? They're unresponsive and they're sort of trying to hinder us. People do that when they're disengaged. Schedule a meeting with all stakeholders to collectively address the engagement issues. That sounds okay as well. So that's pretty good. Is that being direct? Yes. And is it being collaborative? Potentially as well. That's a high maybe. Focus on engaging only the most vocal stakeholders to reduce public concerns and improve overall engagement. Now that's a fair answer as well. So hang on a minute. We've got 3 pretty good answers here. Okay, the most vocal or all of the stakeholders. Remember, we want to find the root cause of any issues. So do we take a scattergun approach or do we just go with only the most vocal? Both of those are no, but for opposite ends of the spectrum. To actually to directly problem solve the issue, I think this is going to find the root cause. I think that's what we want to go with here. So problem solving, answer B, I think we're going to go with that. Let's see. And there it is. Okay. That was pretty lucky. There were 3 pretty good answers here. How did you guys go with that? Make sure we're finding that root cause, solving the real problem. The stakeholder engagement matrix displays gaps between the current and desired engagement, and then we can update our strategy. So do we need to communicate more, update our communication requirements to close any engagement gaps? The stakeholder engagement assessment matrix, page 300 in the process group's practice guide. Check that out for yourself. That was a tricky one to start with. Hang on, I hope they're not all going to be this tricky. 3 answers that could have been correct. And you'll see this on your real PMP exam and CAPM exam as well. Next question. You're managing an international project to develop a new software product, and your stakeholders are located in different time zones across the globe. The project management plan has been completed and is ready for review. You have limited time to obtain approval from all stakeholders before the next project phase begins. What will you do? So we have limited time. We need to approve the project management plan or review the project management plan with these stakeholders, and they're in different parts around the world. How are we going to do this? Let's have a look. Distribute the plan for stakeholders to review and arrange a virtual meeting to go over it together. You know what? That sounds pretty good. That's direct. We're sending it to them, and then we're even being more direct by making sure that we're going over it with them together as well. So that's actually pretty good. I think that could be our answer here, actually. Let's see the other ones just in case. Summarize the plan. Oh, I mean, that's not bad. And send the most critical sections to stakeholders for approval. But then it's not the entire thing, is it? So I think this is a more complete approach, our first one. Let's say no for now. Ask stakeholders to delegate the review to their respective teams and to speed up feedback. I think this could cause issues. It's not being as direct. I think that's a no for now as well. Assign a single stakeholder to review the plan and approve it on behalf of the group. Again, all of these answers are pretty good. So these are pretty tricky questions. But what's the most direct problem-solving answer? I think it's going to be answer A. What do you guys think? Let's see. All right, answer A. Wonderful stuff. Communications management enables an efficient and effective information flow between project team and stakeholders. Virtual meetings are a tool for knowledge management and share information quickly and directly. And there's that key word. We always want to be direct and collaborative. So page 278 in the process group's practice guide under knowledge management. Check that one out for yourself. Really great stuff. You did a fantastic job. Let's keep going. You're managing a project that is in the execution phase. Remember, initiate, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and then closing. These are our project phases. The scope definition for the next release has been finalized, communicated, and agreed upon by all stakeholders. So we've planned it, we have a baseline, we're currently executing it. Key stakeholders are persistently submitting new feature requests. Okay, so this could slow us down if we're doing additional scope. There could be scope creep in here. What are we going to do here? Approve those feature requests to maintain customer satisfaction. Well, we do want our customers to be satisfied, but I think we need a better answer than that. We need to go through the proper process because we already have an approved plan and we're already executing that plan. So let's put no for now. Reject the requests outright as the scope has already been finalized. Well, we don't want to do that either because what if we actually miss something that we really, really need? So that's a no, and that's all the way at the other end. So this is getting a bit tricky. Let's see the last two. Review the scope management plan to determine how changes in scope are managed. Well, that sounds pretty promising to me. We want to go direct to the source of the problem. How do we manage these scope changes? And then do that. That actually sounds pretty good. Let's check the last one just in case. Escalate the issue. Oh, there's that word again. That naughty word, escalate. Now, sometimes we do need to escalate, but if we're being honest in this situation, we can manage this as a project manager. So be aware of that. Probably 80% of the time, escalating is not going to be the answer. So escalate the issue to the project sponsor for a decision to approve or reject the project scope. Now, they may be a part of the change control process and approve changes, but we need to figure out what that change control process is first. That's our next thing that we're going to do. I think we're going to go with answer C. Let's check. All right, wonderful stuff. Scope management plan is a component of the project management plan that describes how the scope will be managed, developed, defined, monitored, controlled, and validated at the end when our project sponsor accepts those deliverables. Plan scope management, page 81 in the process group's practice guide. If you want to check that out for yourself, which I definitely recommend. How did you guys go with that? A little bit tricky, but not too bad. I think we've got a good handle on this. You're doing well. We're getting through this. It's good. Let's see our next question. Let's see if we're getting any better. A subcontractor for a critical deliverable informs us of a delay due to resource constraints. Surprise, surprise. But their work is essential for the next phase to begin. The project deadline cannot be extended because it would result in penalties and affect downstream projects. Okay, Well, I thought this was tricky at first, but it's getting worse and worse as the question goes on. So what are we going to do here? The contract includes specific clauses regarding delivery timelines and penalties for delay. Hang on a minute. So it's a subcontractor. This is a vendor in our team, and there are clauses for delivery timelines and penalties for delays. So in reality, the vendor needs to do their agreed upon work that's agreed upon in their contract. What are we going to do here? Terminate the subcontractor's contract. Well, I think we could review the contract to see their terms, but do we terminate it? No. Do we hire a new vendor? Remember, try not to hire, try not to fire. I think this one's going to be a no. And the PMP Fast Track has helped us a little bit here, which is good. Communicate that delay to stakeholders and revise the project schedule accordingly. There's that magic word, delay. Do we want to delay? Not really, if we can help it. We want to manage and problem solve and keep our project on track to deliver that value. So let's put a no on that one as well. Meet with the vendor to review and problem solve delivery delays under their contract. Hey, now we're talking. Their contract, they're delivering it. We can help them problem solve. Sounds pretty good to me. And that is our role as a project manager. I think that's a pretty good answer. Use the project's contingency reserves to offset the impact of the delay. Now, do you remember what contingency reserves are for? They're for known risks on our project. So would this be a known risk, do you think? I don't think so. Plus, we don't want to delay, we want to problem solve. So let's go with answer C. I think it's pretty clear. And there it is. You did amazing work. And we used those key tips. That really helped us there. If the project is outsourcing the work, the project manager needs to oversee the contractor's work to make sure that the agreements meet the specific needs of the project. That makes sense. That's our role as a manager. Problem solving with them on their delay is the best next action, page 259, under Collaborate and Problem Solve in the Process Groups Practice Guide. How did you guys go with that one? I think that was pretty good. I don't know if we're getting better or if these questions are getting easier, but I think the questions are still pretty tricky. So we're doing really great. Keep going, guys. You're doing great. And we're halfway through this section. Let's go. You are in the requirements gathering phase of a project to build a new internal system. One of the end users is having difficulty articulating their process and requirements for the new system. Despite several meetings and attempts to gather information, that user is unable to clearly communicate their needs. Okay, so hang on a minute. What is this? They're willing to work with us, so it's not engagement, but they don't have the capability. They are unable to clearly communicate. How are we going to manage this, and what are we going to do? Do we reassign the user's tasks to another team member who can better articulate the requirements? Well, I think, can we problem solve instead? So let's put that as a low maybe for now. Conduct another meeting with the user using a more structured approach with predefined questions. Hey, that actually sounds pretty good. Is that going to give us the answer that we need? Just having more meetings? I don't know. I would put that as a medium-sized maybe. What do you guys think for that one? Let's see what else we have. I hope the other answers are better. Do we escalate the issue? Everyone, tell me the answer here. No, we try not to escalate the issue. Oh, but this is just to a senior user for guidance on how to proceed. Well, we could work with a senior user instead. That's a maybe as well. So here's one of those situations where escalating could work. What's our last one? Have someone perform job shadowing to observe the user's daily tasks and gather insights into their needs. Now, hang on a minute. We've got our team working with them. We're going direct to where the problem is. We're seeing firsthand the issue and what's going on. I think actually answer D could be the one here. So these are all pretty good. Again, how did we get these questions? They're pretty tricky. 2 or 3 answers are really correct here. But I think answer D is the best one. It's the most correct. What do you guys think? Let's see. All right, answer D. Job shadowing is usually done externally by an observer viewing a business expert performing a job to experience how it's done, to uncover hidden requirements. Under page 283, observation and conversation in the Process Groups Practice Guide. Now, that's actually pretty good. That's very good to know. And our business analysts will do this as well. So as part of their requirements and scope gathering processes. So very, very handy to know. How did you guys go with that one? That was quite tricky. So let's see what we've got coming up next. You're managing a project and there is a critical decision that needs to be made quickly. During the meeting, one of the senior stakeholders who has significant influence dominates the discussion, and as a result, team members are hesitant to voice their suggestions, fearing their ideas may not be taken seriously. What are we going to do? Now again, have you ever heard of the HIPPO, the highest paid person's opinion? One of my favorite little topics there. But we want everyone to have a voice and raise concerns. We want psychological safety in our team. Do we allow the senior stakeholder to make the final decision because they have more experience? Well, we want everyone's voice. We want lots of diverse opinions because that will help us in complex situations. Just in case we haven't thought of something that someone else has thought of, I don't think that's going to be the best answer. Do we hold a private meeting with each team member to gather their opinions separately? We could do that, but it will take a long time. I think there's probably a better answer there as well. Let's put a no for now. Do we use the nominal group technique to gather input from all team members? Now, hang on a minute. Nominal group technique, do you remember this one? This is where we gather people's opinions anonymously. So people write down their opinions. They're not influenced by other people in the room because no one is yelling out or giving their opinion on their solution. People are writing them anonymously. Then we put them all together and group them into groups if we can help it. And then at the end, then we vote. Because of the anonymous portion of that, I think that actually could work. Let's see the last one just in case. Ask the senior stakeholder to step out of the meeting so the team can make the decision without influence. Now, I think there's probably a better option here, and I think it's going to be nominal group technique. That addresses the issue, and it does it in a pretty good way, just using that particular technique, using the anonymous side of it. So I think let's go with answer C. Okay, excellent stuff. It enhances brainstorming with an anonymous voting process used to rank the most useful ideas. The nominal group technique, page 283 in the Process Groups Practice Guide. All right, pretty tricky again. So I hope you're getting through this and we're working through this together. You're doing a great job and we're learning as we go. Keep going. Let's do this. You're managing a project to develop a new e-commerce platform and have received the requirements documentation from the senior user. Great. During a recent project team meeting, the key stakeholders expressed difficulty understanding the proposed system design and the features. Okay, so we've got the requirements documentation, but people can't understand it. What are we going to do? Well, what do we do? Let's see what our answer options are. Conduct another meeting. Oh, just what the world needs, more meetings. I don't know about this. To provide a detailed walkthrough of the documentation. I think we've already done that. Let's put that as a low maybe for now. A detailed walkthrough could help, but I wonder if there's a better option. Work with the customer to create a wireframe of the system. Wireframe is a prototype. It could be like a storyboard or something similar. It shows us what the system is without actually developing the system. And it's just usually just a drawing that shows how the system is going to operate with the right links and the right things working in that sort of order. I think that actually is pretty good. Then we can see it and feel it and get an idea of it. I'd probably do that in the real world. So let's put that as a high maybe for now. Ask the stakeholders to assign someone with more technical knowledge to review the documentation. Again, do we hire? Do we fire? That's probably not if we can help it. Let's put that as a low maybe for now. Proceed with development based on approved documentation as stakeholder input has already been collected, or do we just proceed? So do we address the concerns or do we just go ahead? I think we could try and address the concerns if we can. So it is good to just deliver value, yes, but we've got an issue here where no one understands the system design. That could come back to bite us in the future. So let's put a no for now. I think, there are a lot of good answers here again, but showing it with a prototype, I think that's going to be our one. Let's go with answer B. Okay, mock-ups, wireframes, prototypes. It's a method of obtaining early feedback on requirements by providing a model of the expected product before actually building it, which is why it's going to help us understand the system design. Process Groups Practice Guide, page 289 under Prototypes. So that was quite tricky. Again, we do need to know these things in our projects, and it will really help us in the real world too. So I think that's actually pretty good. How did you guys go with that one? That was pretty tricky. Last three, keep going. You're doing great. There has been a major change in your industry, and the project stakeholders are disputing which product features should be prioritized for the first release. With a limited schedule, you must determine what to prioritize to achieve the overall best project impact. What are we going to do? Prioritization techniques. I can think of quite a few here. Let's see if any come to mind as we're going through the answers. Choose the features requested by the majority of stakeholders to maintain alignment. Maybe this is voting. Voting is a way to prioritize, so this could work. The majority. I wonder if there's anything better though. Select the features that most closely align with the original project scope and objectives. That's also a pretty good answer. But is this going to solve our dispute? Well, maybe. Let's put a medium for this one as well, a high maybe. Proceed with your current plan and avoid any further time being wasted. Well, we still need to address this issue, so it doesn't really address the issue. Let's put that one as a no. Oh, thank goodness. Let's see what the last one is. Complete a benefit to cost analysis to evaluate the value and impact of each feature. Okay. Wow, all of these are really good. Do we do voting? Well, that's just people's opinions. Do we select the features that align with the project scope? That could still be under dispute here, which features should be prioritized. So how do we prioritize? Cost and benefit analysis is a great way to prioritize, probably one of my favorites actually, and it's quite objective. So what is the benefit versus what's the cost to deliver it? And then the best cost to benefit is the one that we do first. I think that of all of those options, there are some really good options there, but that one I think is going to be our best one, the most objective way to do it. I could be wrong here, but let's see. Answer D. Okay, thank goodness. Wow, that was actually really tricky. How did you guys go with that one? A cost-benefit analysis is a financial analysis tool used to determine the best alternative in terms of benefits provided. It helps the project manager determine if the project activities are cost-effective. Very, very important as we go through our project. Page 261, cost-to-benefit analysis in the Process Groups Practice Guide. Wow, that was quite tricky. So I hope the last two, I think we deserve a break here, guys. The last two should be a bit easier. I hope so anyway. Goodness me. Okay, last two. You've taken over a construction project where task scheduling inefficiencies have led to a blowout in schedule and budget. You have found that the delivery of materials is scheduled too far in advance for each area, causing delays because painting cannot begin until the drywall is done. Okay, so we've got materials. They're out in the future. But now we need those materials so that we can do painting as well. What are we going to do here? Hang on, this question's not much easier at all. Gosh, okay. Well, let's see what our options are, and hopefully something will stand out for us. Use available lag time. Okay, I see here some keywords. Lag time and lead time. I think this could be a key. So use the available lag time on materials to ensure the drywall can get done in time. What is lag time? It is lagging behind. We can move it backwards. Now, do we want to move the drywall backwards? No, we want to move it forwards towards us so we can get the painting done in time. So that's a no, but use available lead time to ensure the drywall can get done in time. That's a yes. I think that's actually pretty good. Let's see what else we have just in case. Assign additional resources to the delayed tasks to speed up completion. Now remember, ideally, don't hire and don't fire if we can help it. Try and problem solve first. So that's a no for that one. Redefine the project scope to exclude non-essential items. Will that help bring it back on track? Maybe, but now we're not really delivering the value that we agreed upon. So again, doesn't really match for us. I think the best answer here is answer B. Excellent work. Adjusting leads and lags is applied during network analysis or schedule network analysis to find ways to bring the project activities that are behind into alignment with our plan. Lead time is leading an item forward. Lag time is lagging behind or moving it back. If we want to bring the materials forward, we're going to use lead time. Leads and lags, page 279 in the Process Group's practice guide. Wow, tricky stuff. But not tricky and quite good is the last question in this section. Wow, we made it. This has been quite a mission. Okay, how are you guys going? Stay with me here. Last one. You're doing it. You're doing great. You're reviewing the schedule for your project and notice that one team member is assigned to multiple tasks simultaneously. These tasks have a small amount of float within the critical path, but if the overallocation is not resolved, it could delay the project. What are we going to do? Now, remember our resource leveling and resource smoothing. If someone is assigned the same task at the same time, I think was it leveling them out or smoothing? Gosh, this is going to test my memory. Let's see what the answers are and see if something gives it away. Apply schedule crashing by asking the team member to work extra hours to complete the tasks. Well, again, if we can help it, we don't want to do this. So don't hire, don't fire, don't add money, those sorts of things. We want to problem solve first. Prioritize the most critical tasks and postpone the others to resolve the overallocation. Now, this is postponing or delaying some items. Not going to be our best answer here. Remember, at the beginning, our PMP Fast Track, it actually gave us some great clues there. Apply resource leveling to adjust the team members' tasks. It was resource leveling. Hooray! So we're leveling out those guys. Now it's over 2 days, but it's still within the critical path because we had available float. And float is wiggle room within our schedule or slack within our schedule. That's looking pretty good. Delay the project to accommodate the team members' availability. Do we delay? If we can help it, no, we do not delay. You guys have got this. You're doing so great. So great, it's answer C. Absolutely fantastic. Resource leveling is used when a resource has been assigned to 2 or more activities in the same time period. Moving the tasks will often impact the schedule, but we have available float, so the schedule won't be impacted. Resource optimization, page 291, Process Group's practice guide, which is a fantastic book that you should study as you're going through this. And what else is fantastic is your ability to study this every single day, to grow, to improve, to get better, and not only get better at anything, but get better at something which is so important, and that is delivering value and managing projects and doing these wonderful things that will help people in the real world by delivering this value. It's so valuable. Keep going. I think you're doing a fantastic job. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.